Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome into another video for Anno 1800 with our ultimate guide. So for today's episode, let's talk about the Land of Lions DLC and how you should go about settling Enbesa. Now I do have a full walkthrough guide about Enbesa if you want to skip the main storyline and everything that you need to know about skipping the main story if you decide to do that. If you do want to continue on the main story, I also have a video with a full walkthrough of the storyline for Land of Lions that you can also check out. Both of those videos will be pinned in the comments down below. But we're not going to talk about any of that stuff. What we're going to just talk about is how to quickly get Land of Lions content set up and running and get the region secured as a foothold for when you are actually ready to build here and get everything going. It's a relatively easy region to set up quickly and get a little money coming out of it, and you don't really have to do much with it until you're really prepared to advance into the scholar content and start working with them. So with that, let's take a look at the map for Land of Lions. So the region of Enbesa is what I like to call a semi-static map. There are elements of the map that are always the same, and then there are some little adjustments depending on your map seed. But for the most part, you're going to see a lot of the same things going on. Tabarim will always be located in the center of the map. To the immediate north, you will always have Kudusi Anatoni and Wahadesher. To the slight southwest will always be Angarab. To the far west will be the nomadic pasture land that will also be taken over by Archibald's Blake if you decide to do the Land of Lions main storyline. If you do not do the Land of Lions main storyline and you decide to skip it, this island is never able to be claimed. You cannot settle on it at any point if you decide to skip it. You cannot destroy this or anything. It's unavailable to you as an island. So it is a slight downside because it does cut you out of an island on the map. Other than those static things, everything else on the map is sort of randomized. There are specific island types for Enbesa. There are 4 large islands, 4 medium islands, and 4 small islands. Their locations and rotations will randomize, but there are only 4 types of each. So there aren't any other islands other than what you see on the map at any given time, but their locations and rotation will change depending on your game. Other things such as fertilities also are randomized. However, river slots are not. Those are always the same. Influence costs for the islands vary slightly. Large islands, such as this island right here, range in influence cost from around 23 to 27 influence. Medium islands, such as this one, range in cost from around 13 to 17. The smallest islands in Enbesa cost less than 10 influence each, so they are single-digit costs, and they are not too expensive. So why do you need to know this? Well, you need to get here as soon as possible. Land of Lions unlocks once you reach 100 artisans, so it's extremely early in the game, and there's a reason for that. The region is super cheap. Things here do not cost much money, but it also has the ability to make you a lot of money really easily. So I recommend going to this region immediately, either during the same expedition as your new world or right after it if you don't have any other ships available to go on an expedition. I recommend going here as soon as it is unlocked. If you are playing on normal or above difficulties and you have any AI, the medium and hard AIs, that's the 2-star and 3-star. So if you're playing on just standard normal difficulty, that includes Beryl O'Mara. She will come here rather quickly and start claiming islands, and you might have trouble trying to get the region set up if there aren't enough good islands left. So I recommend coming to this region immediately and getting everything set up and going. Now, other than Tabarim, which islands you take is going to be dependent upon the fertilities available on them, but you always want to try and aim for at least 1 or 2 large islands if you are slightly limited on influence. As you can see right here, I'm still kind of early in the game right now. I only have 244 influence available to me. So I would be looking at taking possibly two large islands and one or two medium islands. Avoid the small islands at all costs, at least in the early part of the game. You want to go ahead and try to grab those bigger islands so you have plenty of space available to build on, because you do have to use canals in this region. So now that we've talked a little bit about the world itself right here, let's go ahead and get a small settlement up and running and just take a look at the production chains and what you need for the Shepards to quickly get you up and running with the elders. Now, while you're setting up your initial island on Tabarim, go on over to Ketema and see how much Wanza timber he has for sale. He does sell it for only 8 coins each, and he will stock up to 150. It's a great way to go ahead and get plenty of timber, so you're not going to be slowed down by waiting for your Wanza woodcutters to give you any building materials. So go ahead, buy all that he has. A stack of 150 is only 1,200 gold. It's totally worth it. So go ahead and buy that, and make sure you're not having to wait around for construction materials. So let's talk real quick about fertile soil. Fertile soil increases the productivity of buildings such as animal farms, and it's required for agricultural farms. So what that means specifically for your animal farms is you do not have to put these on fertile soil. It's not required. But if you do, you will get a productivity bonus. So let's take a look and see how it looks on fertile soil. As you can see here, it has a base productivity of 100%, and then the irrigation gives it an additional 100%. On top of that, if you have the Bright Harvest DLC, once you get to Elders, you can also put silos on these and increase that by an additional 100% plus 1 extra good every 3rd cycle. That makes Land of Lions animal farms extraordinarily productive even without trade union bonuses. They are insanely productive if you put these things on fertile soil. So I recommend trying to do that as often as possible. Now, you may have noticed that I have not been going around claiming other islands. That is because you only start with 8 mud bricks. You need 8 mud bricks to settle other islands in Enbesa. Unlike every other region in the game, you do not need steel beams to settle islands. You need mud bricks, and mud bricks are not available until Elders. So you need to get up to Elders ASAP so you can unlock those mud bricks and start claiming islands before anybody else does. So as you unlock more stuff with the Shepards, you're going to start running into the need for possibly canals. You can, early game, just follow the river if you want to. But if you want to go ahead and start understanding canals early, now's the perfect time to do them. You do need linseed in order to make linen for your embroiders that your Shepards need to advance on up. Right here, I have set up a very simple canal system. I've dragged it over here to the fire station. Yes, fire stations in Land of Lions do need a canal connected to them. And then I came down here and I made a very simple little pattern that I can use for my linseed farms. Now, later on, you might want to bring that over here and just create nice, long, straight lines and then have little nubs coming off of them, as it were, to create your farms. I have an entire video about some of these simple canal setups, and that will also be pinned down in the comment section if you want to look at that. But basically, canals are really simple. All you've got to do is space them 4 tiles apart on either side, so 8 tiles in between each little nub, as it were, and create a fully fertilized area. All right, and here is a fully developed Shepard Island on Tabarim. It has everything fulfilled. Their happiness needs are fulfilled, as well as their basic needs fulfilled. And all of this, along with a substantial amount of overproduction, I do have 2 sets of fineries set up, 2 goat's milk, 2 hibiscus tea. I only have 1 dried meat at the moment, but I'm still producing enough. And the whole island is only costing me 189. That's all it's costing me, is 189 out of my balance. That is absolutely nothing. You can go to just about every island in Tabarim that you want to claim it, set up a small thing of Shepards that can have goat's milk, but don't get them up to unlock finery. Just unlock the goat's milk, and you will actually make a decent small profit. You get 1 coin from supplying goat's milk, and goat's milk only costs 5 coins. So you're going to make a small profit just from supplying this one thing to a handful of shepherds on those islands. So you can actually make a little money out of Tabarine. And that's all you've got to do. Once you have this done, go ahead, upgrade into some elders. If you go over, like I just did, throw you down some more shepherds, not a big deal. You can see my consumption is still perfectly fine. And we have some elders going, and we are ready to get to Mudbricks. Now, Mudbricks take a little bit more. You do need 100 elders to staff a single brick dry house. Every brick dry house does require 1 Tef farm, which needs 20 shepherds, and 1 clay collector, which can supply up to 4 brick dry houses out of 1 clay collector, and that takes 35 shepherds. Now, what a lot of people do is they actually bring the clay over from the Old World or Cape Trelawney instead of making it here. But early game, I would say just go ahead and make the clay here locally, because you don't need to wait for that clay to come in from the other regions. Go ahead and make it here so you can get your bricks going. So from here, all you need to do is just expand your workforce out until you have 200. I like to do 2 brick dry houses. Get 2 brick dry houses going, 2 Tef farms, your 1 clay collector, and go ahead and start pumping out those mud bricks so you can settle other islands as quickly as possible. If you're not sitting around and talking about how to do everything like I just did, you can probably get to elders in less than 10 minutes. Throwing everything down, buying the wood from Ketema, and getting all of those needs fulfilled real quick. You don't even have to do the hibiscus tea immediately if you don't want to. If your aim is to quickly get to elders, don't even worry about the hibiscus tea. Just get the goat's milk, finery, and Senga cow production chains going for the Senga meat, or the dried meat rather. And you can have all of that done in about 10 minutes or way less. That way you can quickly start making the mud bricks and go claim your other islands. So I haven't talked about one of the more important things, and that is another big reason to hurry up and get to this region. And this is something I've talked about in another one of my guide videos, but I just want to reiterate it here in case you might have missed it. That is the ability to sell pocket watches to Ketema for 13,312 coins each. The fun thing about it is Archie also sells pocket watches for only 83.20. So buy them from Archie, sell them to Ketema, and you will make a crap ton of money. Now, in the video earlier when I talked about this, I talked about maybe wait until you had about 1 million coins in the bank. You don't have to do that. You can manually go and buy a handful of pocket watches and sell them for a turnaround and start building up your bank account. And once you get to about 900,000 to 1 million coins, take a schooner and set up a trade route between Archie's harbor and Ketema's harbor and buy the pocket watches from Archie and sell them to Ketema. Doing them with a schooner allows you to buy 100 at a time, obviously, from 2 cargo slots. It's 832,000 coins to do that, which is why you want at least 900,000 or more so you have a little money in the bank. If you try to buy them and you don't have 832,000 coins in the bank, you will likely go into either a defeat if you have already gone negative 5,000 coins in the hole for the one time already and Archie gave you a bailout, or you'll trigger the bailout. And then you can be defeated if you do it again. So make sure you have at least 900,000 coins in the bank before you do that, because it will make you so much money. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's probably one of the best reasons to go to the Land of Lions immediately after you unlock it. Archie starts selling pocket watches as soon as you get to Artisans, and Ketema buys pocket watches as soon as you are in the region. So it's a win-win all around. Super early game, lots and lots of money. And that's it, guys. That's all you really need to know about getting to Enbesa early on in the game, what you need to do to quickly get to Elders, how to go about setting up your first canal systems, what you need to know about the different islands and how you need to be claiming them and what you need to be looking for, and go from there. Again, once you have a few islands claimed to this region, you don't have to stay here if you don't want to work on it anymore. You've claimed some islands, you've gotten yourself a foothold in Enbesa, and you're ready to come back here later on when you're ready for it and expand on the region and get your scholars up and running. Until then, make a few islands, make some small Shepard populations, and you can start just turning around and making some coin. As you can see right here, just those handful of elders that I upgraded, I'm already down to only costing 56. This region is so ridiculously cheap in terms of maintenance, but it has the potential to make so much money from things such as the turnaround to Ketema with the pocket watches. And the fact that small islands of shepherds with just goat's milk on it will make you a substantial amount of coin early on. So it's a good idea to go here as soon as possible and set up basic infrastructure, and then you can leave this region on auto run until you are ready for it later. All right, guys, that is it for me today. I hope this video helped you out a little bit with some early Enbesa stuff. If you are interested in seeing more Enbesa things, be sure to check out the pinned comments down below. And if you want a late Enbesa guide, let me know that as well, and I can put something together for late elders and how to deal with them. And eventually I will have a scholar video out. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great rest of the day. Until then, take care.